officially Dr. James VONDUTCH, and I'm still on Elizabeth Street, and that was back there, and I made a video on Chester Square, and mentioned that the former Conservative Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher lived at number 43 up to her death in 2013, and also the Queen of Netherlands had her headquarters on number 47 Chester Square, and famous residents such as Mick Jagger lived there in 1966 to 67, had a house there, as well as American actor Tony Curtis, the late Tony Curtis, during the early 1970s, during the filming of Persuaders. He lived there as well on Chester Square. And also the Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, former owner of Chelsea Football Club, also lived there, amongst many other celebrities as well. So that was my previous video anyway. So right now I'm on Eaton Square. This is a famous street as well, and it even says sometimes like this one, Vivian Leigh, the famous actress, lived here. It's got her label here as well on a plaque. And I'll go to the bottom of this and then head towards the other end, because there are some famous actors as well who lived here on Eaton Square, and I'll mention them. As soon as I get to the top, I'll actually pause the video and then head back in the other direction, and then record from the direction that I didn't record. So I've got in Vivian Leigh there, famous actress. Eaton Square. Okay, whilst I'm heading towards the other end of Eaton Square, I've got to mention that Tony Blair, the former Labour leader and Prime Minister in the 1997, I think it was onwards, he bought a house here in 2004, not in the Belgravia area, but in fact north of Hyde Park, for £3.65 million, I believe. And that's where he lives. Connaught Square, that's Tony Blair, the Labour former Prime Minister. North of Hyde Park. That whole area is called actually it's called Hyde Park Estate area. Okay, let's just go down this, and I'll just give it a quick pause. Okay, we're at number 25 now. Eaton Square, SW1. We're going to just cross over Eccleston Street and get into the Eaton Square lower numbers. And there should be a number 22 here. Yes, there is a number 22. This is actually number 22 Eaton Square, and this is where the late Roger Moore lived in the early 1960s, before he became James Bond in the 1970s, of course. So I'm presuming that it was during the time he was making the Saint TV series. So he lived at 22 there. Famous actor, famous James Bond actor, but before he became James Bond, of course. Simon Templar, when he played that role, I think it must have been during that time. Interestingly, Roger Moore lived in Switzerland during his latter part of his life, and died in Switzerland as well. He had houses in Monaco as well, and he had a residence in Crans-Montana, Switzerland. That's the area that's recently in the news where there was a fire. I think there was a hotel fire or something like that. It's appeared in the news. He was in that area. That's where he lived. But not obviously during the fire days. He died obviously a lot earlier. Around 2017. Okay, we're still on Eaton Square. A lot of these actors, they live in Switzerland and die in Switzerland as well. They take all that money over there. That's renowned for pulling famous celebrities. Even Charlie Chaplin died there and lived there. Richard Burton, he died and lived there, as well as James Mason, Peter Ustinov, Kofi Annan, the United States Secretary General, United Nations Secretary General. He died there and lived there in Switzerland, as well as Tina Turner, the singer. Okay, I'm trying to find number 2 here. I think that might be under construction. There's a 5 there and a 6. Okay, that's number 1. So I'm assuming that must be next to that. Can't seem to find that number there, but it's number 5 next to it. Number 2 is a place where the late Sean Connery also had a property. He lived there on number 2 Eaton Square, and he died in the Bahamas, obviously, but that's 2020, I think it was 2021, 20, at the age of 90. But he lived here. He had a property here on number 2 Eaton Square. And obviously he's famous for being James Bond, isn't it? The first James Bond. So both the James Bonds, Roger Moore and Sean Connery, have lived on Eaton Square. Although Roger Moore lived there before he became James Bond, he only lived in the early 60s, like I said. And obviously Sean Connery must have lived here after that. He sold the house in 2005, I believe. So anyway, I think that could be it somewhere up there. All that building under construction. There's scaffolding up there at the moment. So I won't do any filming up there. So I'll end this video now. So hopefully I've mentioned some interesting people there. Prime ministers, actors as well, and actresses as well, who've lived on either Eaton Square or Chester Square. And in the case of Tony Blair, he obviously lived not in the Belgravia area, but north of Hyde Park, the Hyde Park estate area, and his house was bought around about 2004 when he moved in. £3.65 million. That was his value then, but obviously they've done it up, so it's obviously they spent more money on it, so that's where they live anyway. People don't realise these things, don't they? They just think about the actors. So actors and even politicians, they're all over the place, aren't they? But when you think about where they live, do they ever think about that, their house, where they might be residing? The houses they've bought. So that's the point of mentioning this in this video and in the previous video. You've been listening to Dr. James International, officially known as Dr. James VONDUTCH, and today's date is 3rd of August 2026, and I'm in Belgravia area right now filming, making this video. And don't forget, you can donate any money to me at my bank account, sort code 110212, account number 14112566, and look up my international bank account number, which is also on the video or in the text links below, and my BIC and SWIFT number as well for the bank, and pay me from anywhere in the world, in fact, with those details. But in the UK, you only need to quote my sort code and account number. If you want to make a donation, help out with my funding, etc.